Hello beautiful souls and welcome back to my channel Soul Journey. My name is Beck and today we are doing an energy reading for the collective. I believe it is the 15th of November. It's just been one of those days. Alright, so today some new decks came through for us to use, so I'm very excited. So today we are going to be using Whispers of Lord Ganesha. We are going to be using the Vintage Wisdom Oracle, the Tarot of Vampires, and the Sacred Rebels Oracle. Alright, for those of you who have not seen my readings before, all the cards are laid down so that I can't see them. So as I pull them, I'm seeing them for the first time with you. If this message resonates with you or you have any questions, please comment them down below. And if you would like a personal reading with me, you can head down to the description where I have my Etsy shop and my other social media platforms. And in my Etsy shop, I have a bunch of reading options. If you want more clarity for this reading this week, you can always go back and watch last week's reading, which I believe was the 11/11 portal reading. And then I have readings for every week. So feel free to go back and look through those to see if any of them resonate with you. All right, let's get into it. So my intuition for today was that a lot of us are trying to move through a lot, and oftentimes we're like, I know what I want, I'm feeling really good, but there's just something in the way. I feel like there is something just holding me back. So because one of my main deities is Lord Ganesha, I felt like I wanted to bring him into this space with us today and see what his guidance was about what is holding back the collective. How are we not allowing ourselves to move forward, and just getting his information. Lord Ganesha is the deity of the remover of obstacles, love and joy, and really enjoying life. So I wanted his guidance for what we can do and engage in to be more fully engaged with our lives, and maybe what's tying us up a little bit. So before we get into the reading, I just want you to close your eyes if possible and just take a few deep breaths. Whether you're sitting or standing. Is that a cat? If you're sitting, feel your sit bones connecting down into the earth. And if you're standing, feeling those roots through your feet. Connecting down into the earth. Let your spine become erect and relax your shoulders. And just get present with this moment. And ask your guides to help you be open to whatever messages you need to hear, that you can be open to receiving this message, and that you can have the wisdom to know what it is you need to take on and what it is you need to let go. All right, let's get into it. So the first card I wanted to do was the Lord Ganesha card. So this is what's going to help us with, I just saw 333, that was very cool. I actually saw 111 just before, so I feel like we're in a rhythm here. So this card is about what is holding us back and what's going to help us remove the obstacles for what we want in our lives, and just the wisdom from Lord Ganesha. Promise of the future. By the way, you guys, I love this deck so much. Who is it by? Oh yeah, Angela Hartfield. This is a beautiful Blue Angel deck. I believe I did a full look through of this deck a while back, so if you want to check it out, I highly recommend it. It is a very yummy deck. All right, so this is what Lord Ganesha has to say for us, and it's just this little bit. And don't mind me if I stumble a little bit. I am a little bit dyslexic, so bear with me. All right, promise of the future. Rest assured, something new is on the horizon. All indications are favoring a time of new awareness. Seek new outlets for your creative expression. This heralds the beginning of a new phase in your life. Ganesha is asking that you take time to reflect on your desires and dreams. It is time that you begin down the road of a new creative endeavor. Ask Ganesha to help you uncover the desires of your subconscious mind and then follow any creative nudges you feel. You may experience them as innovative sparks that come to you unexpectedly. This momentum will start you down a path that may involve a view of the world. Reflect on your past endeavors. Take time to acknowledge and understand your lessons and your blessings. Feel gratitude for the path that has led you to this point in time. You are receiving a gift of freedom to choose what you will pursue. There may also be an ending taking place. All of life has its cycles. Through experiences and choices, you learn to grow. You are steadily progressing through the many phases of your life. With each ending comes the promise of a new dawn. Okay, so I really feel like what this is saying is Lord Ganesha is saying be more present with your dreams and desires. Get clear on what you want to do. And remember to focus on where you're moving towards, not where you're moving from. That can be very important. And understanding that as you move through things, letting go of what no longer serves you is really, really important. All right, let's get into the rest of the reading. Let me take a whole sip here. I just love lemonade. I can't even handle it. And yes, I do drink it out of a wine glass. Okay, so today's main topic is kindred spirits. And what's going along with that is patience. Interesting. I feel like this is going to be directed towards a more specific group this week. I'm just getting that intuition. So if this resonates with you, beautiful. And if it doesn't, that is totally okay as well. But I'm really feeling like a lot of people, because they're stepping into new energies, they're stepping into a new space, there's this aspect of feeling like they're kind of in this like middle place where some of their friends and people they used to resonate with are kind of falling away. But there is feeling like there aren't people on the other side of that quite yet to receive you in your more authentic state. And so what I'm really feeling like today's theme for this week is being patient about your soul family. Be patient about having that connection with people. And this doesn't have to mean that, you don't have soul family. This could mean a lot of different things. But I feel like that feeling of connection, that feeling of community, if you feel like you're kind of lacking in that area, be patient. Your frequency is balancing out. It is realigning. Again, you are starting into a new journey, like Lord Ganesha was saying. As you shift frequencies, you're going to start tuning into different relationships. And so I think it's important to be patient when it comes to those dynamics. I feel like a lot of people right now are feeling lonely in their practice. A lot of people are finding their community, but I think most of the people on this path are currently feeling kind of lonely, or feeling like that sense of community isn't happening quick enough. So trust that the journey you're on, the work you're doing is aligning your frequency so you can line up with that community. What's going to assist you with that is freedom. So I feel like a part of this is, talking about how what's going to really help you resonate with your new soul family is about connecting to your own freedom, your own authenticity, creating freedom for yourself. If you're trying to stay bogged down in what was, bogged down in the old paradigm, and you're feeling very restrictive, you're not going to allow for that flow in. Also be aware of where your thoughts are about being disconnected. So I really feel like this has to do with freeing your thoughts, releasing the thoughts that aren't serving you, step into a freedom space. This could also represent that if you are not super connected to a lot of beings, what's assisting you with that is your freedom. You have the freedom to move about where you want. This might be a time to reevaluate who you are and what you want, because you're not super tied down. So be aware of that. Also, your freedom. If you go and expand outward, you might find that there's someone else too. That might be important. If you're kind of like keeping yourself cloistered and like hidden and not letting yourself explore, you might have a harder time connecting with those beings. And that can be digitally or physically. All right, what's going to hinder us? We have the playfulness card. So I feel like this kind of comes into this idea of not trusting the journey, not allowing yourself to see this as a positive transition, but getting a little too serious about it, feeling like, oh, I don't have community and this is a bad thing. No, oftentimes if you don't have tons of friends around, it means you need to be focusing on yourself. Just like if you are not in a relationship, that means you are needing to work on yourself, and that can be a really beautiful thing. It can be very freeing. So be aware of where you're taking yourself too seriously and where you're taking the situation too seriously. I know that can be hard, especially if you feel like you're the only one on this journey, but maybe currently right now that is exactly what you need to be focusing on. You don't want to have to focus on others. You need to be focusing on yourself. And as you get more in tune with yourself, those beings will start being mirrored in your reality. Ooh, my nose itches. Okay, moving on. All right, so for the tarot, our main energy is the moon in reverse. So kind of like what I was talking about before, is feeling like there's a disconnect. I feel like the current energy is, things feel very mysterious right now. Things are feeling very in the shadows, like we're not really aware of what's going on. And I feel like part of this has to do with the fact that we're not trusting our own intuition. The moon is very about things, one, the intuition, but things kind of being in shadow, the feminine energy. And so with it being in reverse, I really get this idea that we're not trusting our intuition. We're not trusting our own guidance systems, because when it's dark, when it's mysterious, we tend to feel like we don't know what's going on. And so within this feeling a little disconnected, we're stepping into a new journey. We're feeling a little closed off from ourselves. We might not be stepping into our own personal freedom. We're feeling like there's not a lot of stuff to go on. We feel like there's a lot of mystery. We feel kind of lost right now. So be aware of that. We're also ending Scorpio season too. So that's kind of that, still in that going deep, trying to figure out the mystery of things, really exploring ourselves, releasing what no longer serves. And we're at the end of Mercury retrograde, which has similar energies to it. So right now I feel like a lot of people are feeling very like, I don't know what's going on. So be aware of when you're feeling that way. Again, remember Lord Ganesha said, pay attention to what you're focusing on. Pay attention to your dreams and desires. Get centered within yourself. All right, so what's going to help us with that is we have the Judgment card. So Judgment represents rebirth. It represents coming into a new space. So just kind of like what Lord Ganesha was talking about. And then we have Queen of Grails, or Queen of Cups. So I feel like we're coming into a new space of getting really tapped into our own creativity. Again, with the dreams and desires, that's really important. And he also mentioned a new creative endeavor. The Queen of Grails is also very feeling. She's very intuitive. I would consider her like the intuitive queen. She's the psychic queen. She understands her emotions. She's tapped into her emotions and her spirituality. The cups or grails or water represents emotions, and it represents spirituality. So we're coming into a new space of being more tapped into ourselves. But right now, as we're stepping into that, it can feel like there's a lot of stuff we're not used to. And I think that's that moon in reverse, where we're coming into a new space. We might be coming into a new community soon. We're stepping into our own path. You know, we're kind of stepping away from the crowd and coming into our own path. So there's a lot of mystery, there's a lot of uncertainty. So as we become are renewed into this new space of creativity and intuition and spirituality, that's really what's going to help us really navigate this situation. What's going to hinder us is we have the Sun. And then we have Lord of Skulls. Okay, so I feel like because this is, I usually see the hinder cards as like the card is in reverse. So I feel like just kind of like with the moon, I feel like the Sun in reverse is kind of this idea of things aren't illuminated. Things are seeming like they're dark. It also depends on what you focus on. But I feel like what's happening is there's a lot of confusion going on, and it's actually the universe or, consciousness having us look inward, having us explore what it means to trust ourselves, being a little playful with it. I think a lot of us are taking things way too seriously, and of course that bogs us down vibrationally. So because there's not a lot of light that we can navigate through, we're feeling very lost. We don't feel like we have a lot of freedom. So as we step into this rebirthing and this new creative process, we need to start getting tapped into our own feeling, our own intuition, and create that freedom for ourselves. And then this Lord of Skulls is, I really feel, I feel like the Lord of Skulls is saying that we're not being grounded enough. We're not being conscious of the physical enough. We're not taking time to ground. And we're not being present with ourselves physically. So that's really important. So as you step into your own physical body's messages for you, like the emotions, like if your body doesn't feel good, if you're feeling sick, if you're feeling tired, you're not getting tuned into your body enough. And because we feel like there's not a lot illuminating, we feel like there's not a lot, I feel like a lot of beings are starting to, step away from getting messages from others and really starting to tap into getting messages from themselves. And that can feel like a little dicey going into, because, we've been raised to believe, like, go to the pastor, go to the minister, go to the guru. And we're all starting to get, come into this rebirth of trusting ourselves, our inner divinity, our inner divine feminine. And so this can be a difficult thing. And so if you don't feel like there's a lot of light out here, step internally and look into that space. All right, so now for the main energy for this part of the reading, we have 3 of Skulls. So that, again, is about like the creative endeavor. This is kind of seen as the hobby card, stepping into what feels good to you. Not necessarily, what society says is, a good job or things like that, but the hobby card is what brings you joy in the physical. And then we have the Star. So I'm really feeling like this is saying, like as we step into our own being, as we acknowledge our own personal desires, as we step into this new space of community, we are on the right path. We are stepping into what feels good to us, and that's actually going to keep us on the path. And the last one, we have 10 of Skulls, which is really, really lovely. 10 of Skulls is about long-term success. It's about having everything we need. This also can represent community, because it can represent family, long-term family. So we really are, the main message here is, like, as we tap into ourselves, we're going to be in alignment, we're going to be on the right path, and that's actually going to give us our long-term success. So we are stepping into a new understanding, we're stepping into our own intuition, and we're going through a really big rebirth right now. As we know, with winter in the northern hemisphere, we're shedding a lot, and as the solstice comes through, we're going to be awakening again, and then we have springtime, so we're in a real transitional phase, going from death to life, and that's like a really big cycle. So we are stepping into new energies. But as we get more in tune with ourselves, it's interesting that the light is going dark, at least in the northern hemisphere. So there is a lot of darkness. You're going within. So that is what we're supposed to be doing. All right, so Spirit wants to acknowledge a couple things. We have 3 of Grails. Well, that's very interesting. So 3 of Grails is about community and connection. So I think they're wanting to pinpoint back to that kindred spirits, back into that community aspect. And I feel like Spirit is saying, like, it is coming. But again, patience. Work on yourself. Understand that they're coming. They're on their own personal journeys, and you will meet up exactly when you are supposed to. And the other card here is Queen of Skulls. So we have the Queen and the Lord of Skulls. So again, getting grounded, getting present with the earth, getting present with the cycles, getting present with the physical. So many of us like to disassociate and just go into the spiritual, and we're not very playful. We take things way, way, way too seriously. And so I feel like this is saying, come into this, get playful with it, enjoy the experience, and nurture yourself. Also, I think of the Queen of Skulls or the Queen of Pentacles as, being kind of, I think of the holidays. I think of yummy spaces. I think of sacred space. So kind of tapping into that and understanding, create your sacred space for yourself, because you've got the queens and you've got a couple different court cards here. So stepping into that yumminess, stepping into your power. Okay, and the last 2 cards here are from the Sacred Rebels Oracle, and we have in the world, not of the world. So I feel like this is saying, it's important to embrace the world, be in the world, engage in it, but it's also important to remember that you are not of the world in some ways. So yes, you are a spirit having a human experience, but you are here having a human experience. You are here on the planet. So remember to engage, but stay in that playfulness, stay in that freedom, stay in that creative power that you have, and be present with this experience here on planet Earth. And then the last card here is Receiving. So I feel like this is about receiving nurturing from the planet, from what you have around you. If you do have soul family around you, allow for that nurturing. Receiving the nurturing. Allow for yourself to receive nurturing from yourself, and receive the energy that is going to revitalize you as you come forward, as you are in this patience, as you are stepping into this new rebirthing. Allow spirit to give to you. Receive the messages. Be open to receiving those messages, and allow yourself to receive your internal messages that are, speaking to you softly. I love the whole idea of the whispers of Lord Ganesha. Spirit does not yell. Spirit is very neutral. Spirit is here to guide and to love, and it is not harsh. So step into that place. Allow yourself to receive the messages that are coming through to you, and that can be from external, like this reading, or it can be internal, and you just need to slowly and patiently step into this new space and allow yourself to receive this beautiful energy that we're all receiving as we step into this new chapter of more intuition, being more focused on our desires and our path, and just really coming into a yummy space of knowing ourselves. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please comment them down below. And if you like this video, please give it a like and hit subscribe if you want to see more videos like this in the future. I do try to post these every week, as long as it's self-loving for me to do, but I really love doing them, so they keep coming. And if you would like a personal reading with me, like I said, you can head down over to my Etsy page where you can order a personal reading. I have a bunch of different options, so they are all there along with my other social media platforms in the description. Thank you so much for sharing this beautiful space. Thank you so much for just receiving this, and I love connecting with you guys. Thank you so much. So don't forget to share this video if you found it helpful. Many blessings, you guys. Namaste, and don't forget, it is all about the soul journey. Bye.